Unexpected encounter. The escape pod hurtled through the atmosphere, trailing fire and debris as it plummeted towards the alien world below. Inside, Commander Sarah Chen gritted her teeth, her hands wrapped tightly around the manual controls as she fought to keep the craft from breaking apart. Warning klaxons blared and red lights flashed across the console, but Sarah tuned them out, focusing solely on survival. "Come on, you piece of junk," she muttered, pulling back on the stick with all her strength. "Just a little longer." The pod's hull screamed in protest as it hit the outer layers of the planet's atmosphere. Sarah's muscles strained against the increasing G-forces, her vision narrowing to a pinpoint. Just when she thought she might black out, the pod broke through the cloud cover, revealing a vast expanse of purple-hued jungle stretching to the horizon. Sarah had only moments to take in the alien landscape before the ground rushed up to meet her. She braced for impact, closing her eyes as the pod slammed into the dense foliage. The world spun violently, metal shrieking as the craft caromed off massive tree trunks before finally grinding to a halt in a clearing. For several long seconds, Sarah hung limply in her harness, the only sound her own ragged breathing and the hiss of ruptured coolant lines. Slowly, painfully, she raised her head, assessing the damage. The pod's viewscreen had shattered on impact, letting in gusts of hot, humid air that carried the scent of alien vegetation. Most of the systems were fried, but the emergency beacon was still pulsing weakly. With luck, it would be enough for a rescue team to find her. If they even bothered to look. Sarah unclipped her harness with shaky hands and pulled herself out of the ruined craft. Her legs nearly buckled as she touched down on alien soil, the slightly lower gravity throwing off her balance. She stumbled a few steps before catching herself against a tree with bark like rough obsidian. "Get it together, Chen," she muttered, forcing herself to take deep breaths. "You've trained for this. Assess the situation, establish shelter, wait for extraction." As her eyes adjusted to the violet-tinged sunlight filtering through the canopy, Sarah took stock of her surroundings. The jungle teemed with alien life. Iridescent insects flitted between strange flowers, while unseen creatures called to each other in the distance. It was beautiful in an otherworldly way, but Sarah knew better than to let her guard down. This world had never known human contact, and every life form here was a potential threat. She was reaching for the emergency kit stowed in the pod when a rustling in the underbrush froze her in place. Sarah's hand went to the sidearm at her hip, drawing it smoothly as she scanned the tree line. For a moment, all was still. Then, a figure burst from the foliage, stumbling into the clearing. Sarah's finger tightened on the trigger, then relaxed slightly as she took in the alien's appearance. She, was roughly humanoid, with lilac skin and large, multifaceted eyes that reflected the jungle in kaleidoscopic patterns. 4 arms extended from a slender torso, ending in hands with too many fingers. The alien wore some kind of environmental suit, now torn and sparking in places. But what struck Sarah most was the alien's expression, one of absolute terror. The creature froze upon seeing Sarah, its eyes widening even further. It raised all 4 hands in what Sarah recognized as a universal gesture of surrender, then spoke in a voice like chimes in the wind. "Please," it said, the word mangled but recognizable through whatever translation device it wore. "Do not shoot. I mean no harm." Sarah kept her weapon trained on the alien, her mind racing. First contact situations were delicate enough without the added complication of crash landing in the middle of one. She opened her mouth to respond, but before she could form the words, the alien's head snapped around, its attention drawn to something in the jungle beyond. "They come," it said, fear evident in its melodic voice. "Please, you must hide me. They will kill us both if they find us." Sarah's training screamed at her not to trust this unknown entity, to secure her position and wait for backup. But something in the alien's desperate plea struck a chord. Before she could second-guess herself, Sarah made a decision that would alter the course of 2 civilizations. "Quick," she said, gesturing to the escape pod. "In here." The alien hesitated for only a moment before darting into the ruined craft. Sarah followed, sealing the hatch behind them just as the sound of pursuit grew louder. Through the cracked view screen, she watched as a group of heavily armed aliens, similar in appearance to her unexpected guest, but with harder, more angular features, burst into the clearing. Sarah held her breath as the search party examined the crash site, her hand never leaving her weapon. Beside her, the fugitive alien trembled, its forearms wrapped tightly around itself. After what felt like an eternity, the pursuers moved on, disappearing back into the jungle. Only when the sounds of their passage had faded completely did Sarah allow herself to relax. She turned to the alien, who was watching her with an unreadable expression. "All right," Sarah said, holstering her sidearm but keeping it within easy reach. "I think you owe me an explanation. Who are you, and what exactly have I just gotten myself into?" The alien's multifaceted eyes seemed to shimmer as it regarded her. Then, to Sarah's surprise, it sank to its knees in a gesture of supplication. "I am Zixara," the alien said, its translator struggling with a complex name. "And you, human, have just saved my life. By the customs of my people, I am now bound to you until that debt is repaid." Sarah blinked, taken aback by the sudden turn of events. "Whoa, hold on," she said, raising her hands. "Let's back up a bit. First of all, I'm Commander Sarah Chen of the Earth Exploration Corps. Secondly, I don't need a servant or whatever you're offering. What I need are answers." Zixara tilted its head, a gesture Sarah read as curiosity. "You are not what I expected, Commander Sarah Chen," it said. "I had heard humans were violent, unpredictable creatures, yet you showed me mercy when you could have easily killed me." Sarah sighed, running a hand through her short, sweat-dampened hair. "Yeah, well, we're full of surprises. Now, can you please tell me what's going on? Who were those aliens chasing you, and why?" Zixara's body language shifted, conveying what Sarah interpreted as a mix of fear and resignation. "They are the Vexkar, the ruling caste of my people, and they hunt me because I carry knowledge that could topple their regime, knowledge of a weapon so powerful it could shift the balance of power in this entire sector of space." Sarah felt a chill run down her spine despite the oppressive heat of the jungle. She had come to this planet seeking scientific discovery, not to be thrust into the middle of an alien civil war. But as she looked at Zixara, saw the hope and desperation in its alien features, she knew she couldn't simply walk away. "All right," Sarah said, her voice firm with newfound resolve. "I think you'd better tell me everything, starting from the beginning. Because if what you're saying is true, we might both be in way over our heads." As Zixara began to speak, neither of them noticed the small, insectoid drone hovering just outside the pod, its camera focused intently on the unlikely pair. Somewhere in the depths of the jungle, a Vexkar commander watched the feed with growing interest, a plan already forming in its alien mind. The fate of two worlds now rested in the hands of a stranded human explorer and a desperate alien fugitive. And on this alien world, where purple leaves whispered secrets to a wind that had never known human touch, an adventure beyond imagining was about to unfold. Shadows of deception. As the twin suns of Herexis Prime dipped below the horizon, casting the alien jungle in an eerie bioluminescent glow, Sarah Chen and her newfound companion, Zixara, cautiously emerged from the wreckage of the escape pod. The air hummed with the nocturnal sounds of unseen creatures, a constant reminder that they were deep in uncharted territory. "We need to move," Sarah said, her voice low as she scanned the perimeter. "Your friends might come back with reinforcements." Zixara's multifaceted eyes shimmered with what Sarah had come to recognize as anxiety. "The Vexkar are not my friends, Commander. But you are correct. We cannot linger here." As they gathered what meager supplies had survived the crash, Sarah's mind raced. The stories Zixara had told her seemed almost too fantastical to believe. A hidden civilization, a weapon of unimaginable power, and a rebellion hanging by a thread. Yet the fear in the alien's voice had been all too real. You said this weapon could shift the balance of power, Sarah said as they set off into the bioluminescent undergrowth. What exactly are we dealing with here? Zixara's four arms moved in a complex gesture that Sarah's universal translator struggled to interpret. The Vexcar call it the Nexus Key. It is difficult to explain in terms your species would understand. Imagine a device that could rewrite the very fabric of space-time itself. Sarah felt a chill run down her spine despite the humid air. You're talking about something that could alter reality. In a manner of speaking, yes, Zixara replied. The Vexcar believe it will allow them to expand their empire across the galaxy, reshaping worlds to suit their needs. But they do not understand its true nature. The key is alive, Commander, and it hungers. Before Sarah could press for more details, a piercing shriek cut through the night air. Both human and alien froze, instinctively seeking cover behind the luminous trunk of a massive tree. What was that? Sarah whispered, her hand on her sidearm. Zixara's body trembled slightly. Skyreaver. A predator that hunts from above. We must. The alien's words were cut short as a massive shape plummeted from the canopy. Sarah caught a glimpse of leathery wings and razor-sharp talons before she was knocked to the ground. The Skyreaver, a nightmarish cross between a pterodactyl and a manta ray, screeched in triumph as it pinned her with one clawed foot. Sarah struggled, but the creature's strength was overwhelming. Just as she thought it was over, a flash of purple burst across her vision. Zixara had leaped onto the Skyreaver's back, all four arms wrapped around its sinuous neck. "Run, Commander," the alien cried out, its voice strained as it wrestled with the beast. But Sarah Chen hadn't survived years of deep space exploration by abandoning her comrades. In one fluid motion, she drew her sidearm and fired. The energy pulse struck the Skyreaver's eye, causing it to rear back in pain and confusion. Sarah rolled clear, then fired again and again until the creature crashed to the ground, twitching. For a moment, the jungle was silent save for their heavy breathing. Then Zixara spoke, its voice filled with wonder. You saved me. Again." Sarah holstered her weapon, offering a hand to help the alien up. "Yeah, well, let's call it even for the whole life-debt thing. We're in this together now." As they caught their breath, Sarah noticed something glinting in the bioluminescent light. Half buried in the soil where she had fallen was a small crystalline object. She picked it up, turning it over in her hands. "Zixara," she said slowly, "what is this?" The alien's eyes widened in recognition. By the first star, it's a fragment of the Nexus Key. But how? Before Zixara could finish, the crystal began to pulse with an otherworldly energy. Sarah felt a strange sensation, as if reality itself was bending around them. The jungle blurred and shifted, and suddenly they were no longer in the clearing. They found themselves standing in a vast chamber, its walls lined with pulsating organic technology. Holographic displays flickered with alien script, and in the center of the room stood a device that seemed to defy the laws of physics, a swirling vortex of energy contained within a crystalline structure. "Impossible," Zixara breathed. "This is the heart of the Vexcar stronghold. The Nexus Key, it brought us here." Sarah's mind reeled as she tried to process what had just happened. "Okay, I'm officially out of my depth here. What do we do now?" Before Zixara could respond, a deep, resonant voice filled the chamber. "Now, my dear Commander Chen, you fulfill your destiny." They spun to see a towering figure emerge from the shadows. It resembled Zixara in basic form, but its body was enhanced with cybernetic implants, and its eyes glowed with an unnatural intelligence. "Arch-Herach Zinvex," Zixara said, its voice a mix of fear and reverence. The Vexcar leader's gaze fixed on Sarah, and she felt as if her very soul was being dissected. "We have waited a long time for this moment, human. The prophecy foretold your coming." Sarah's hand inched towards her sidearm. "I don't know what you're talking about, but I'm not interested in any prophecies. We're leaving now." Zinvex's laughter echoed through the chamber. Oh, but you misunderstand. You are not our prisoner, Commander Chen. You are our savior. With a gesture, the Arch-Hierarch activated a holographic display. Sarah watched in stunned silence as images flashed before her, stars dying, galaxies colliding, the very fabric of the universe unraveling. The Nexus Key was created to prevent this future, Zinvex explained, but it requires a unique genetic key to unlock its full potential, a key that only your species possesses. Sarah's mind raced, trying to process the implications. You're saying humans are somehow connected to this doomsday device? Not humans, Commander. You. Zinvex's eyes bored into her. Your genetic code is the key we have sought for millennia. With it, we can rewrite the future of the entire universe. Sarah turned to Zixara, hoping for some sign that this was all a mistake, but the alien's expression was unreadable. I'm sorry, Commander, Zixara said softly. I truly did not know. I was only told to find you, to bring you here. Betrayal stung, but Sarah pushed it aside. There were bigger issues at stake. And if I refused to help you? She asked Zinvex. The Arch-Hierarch's cybernetic implants pulsed with barely contained power. Then billions of worlds will burn, and the death of the universe will be on your conscience. The choice, as they say, is yours. As Sarah stood there, caught between two alien forces and the weight of an entire universe, she realized that her simple exploration mission had become something far greater. The fate of everything now rested in her hands, and she had to decide. Would she trust these aliens and their prophecy, or fight against a destiny she never asked for? The Nexus Key pulsed ominously, as if sensing the magnitude of the choice before her. And in that moment, Commander Sarah Chen knew that whatever she decided would change the course of history forever. Echoes of eternity. The chamber hummed with an otherworldly energy as Sarah Chen stood at the precipice of a decision that would alter the fate of the cosmos. The Nexus Key pulsed rhythmically, its crystalline structure seeming to bend the very fabric of reality around it. Arch-Hierarch Zinvex watched her with unblinking cybernetic eyes, while Zixara trembled with a mixture of fear and anticipation. Time grows short, Commander, Zinvex intoned, his voice resonating through Sarah's very bones. The unraveling of the universe accelerates with each passing moment. You must choose. Sarah's mind raced, weighing impossible options. Save the universe by trusting these aliens and their cryptic prophecy. Or resist, potentially dooming countless worlds to oblivion. She took a deep breath, centering herself as she'd been trained to do in crisis situations. Before I make any decisions, she said, her voice steady despite the turmoil within, I need to understand exactly what's at stake. Show me everything. Zinvex's cybernetic implants pulsed with approval. A wise request. Behold, Commander Chen, the tapestry of existence itself. With a gesture, the Arch-Hierarch activated a holographic display that enveloped the entire chamber. Sarah gasped as she found herself surrounded by a three-dimensional map of the known universe. Galaxies swirled around her, stars pulsed with life, and in the vast spaces between, something dark and insidious spread like a cancer. The Void Plague, Zixara whispered, all four arms wrapped tightly around itself. It consumes everything in its path, leaving only entropy and destruction. Sarah watched in horror as entire star systems winked out of existence, devoured by the encroaching darkness. How is this possible? What could cause such devastation? Zinvex's voice was grim. The universe is dying, Commander. The fundamental forces that bind reality together are unraveling, and the Void Plague is merely a symptom of this cosmic decay. Our scientists estimate that without intervention, all of creation will be consumed within 1,000 years. The weight of this revelation threatened to crush Sarah. She had come to this alien world seeking scientific discovery, not to bear witness to the apocalypse. And the Nexus Key, how does it fit into all this? The holographic display shifted, focusing on the pulsing crystal at the center of the chamber. The key is a relic from the dawn of time, Zinvex explained. Created by beings we can scarcely comprehend, it has the power to rewrite the fundamental laws of physics, to heal the cosmic wound that threatens to unmake everything. But it requires a specific genetic key to unlock its full potential. Sarah finished, the pieces falling into place. My genetic key. Zinvex nodded solemnly. Your DNA contains a unique quantum signature, a cosmic fingerprint that resonates with the key. With it, we can reshape reality itself, reinforcing the bonds that hold the universe together. Sarah's scientific mind reeled at the implications. But how? How could human DNA possibly be connected to something so alien? It was Zixara who answered, its melodic voice tinged with awe. There are legends among my people, Commander. Stories of the precursors, a race of beings who seeded life throughout the cosmos. We believe they left safeguards, failsafes encoded in the very building blocks of certain species. Failsafes, Sarah repeated, her voice barely a whisper. The magnitude of what they were suggesting was almost too much to comprehend. Humanity, her entire species, might have been engineered for this very moment. But doubt still nagged at her. How do I know this isn't some elaborate deception, that you're not manipulating me for your own ends? Zinvex's cybernetic eyes pulsed with what might have been respect. A valid concern, Commander. But consider this, if our intentions were truly nefarious, why bring you here at all? Why reveal the existence of the key? We could have simply taken what we needed by force. It was a compelling argument, but Sarah wasn't ready to concede just yet. If I agree to help, what exactly will I have to do? The Archhierarch gestured towards the Nexus key. Your genetic signature must be integrated with the key's matrix. Once synchronized, you would become its living conduit, channeling its power to repair the cosmic fabric. And the risks? Sarah pressed, her survival instincts on high alert. Zinvex hesitated, and in that moment of silence, Sarah knew the truth. Zixara's voice trembled as it spoke. The strain, it could be fatal, Commander. No being has ever attempted to channel such power before. The chamber fell silent save for the pulsing of the Nexus key. Sarah closed her eyes, weighing the fate of the universe against her own life. When she opened them again, there was steel in her gaze. I'll do it, she said, her voice ringing with determination. But on one condition. I want Zixara to assist me. If this goes wrong, I need someone I trust watching my back. Zinvex's cybernetic implants flickered with what might have been surprise. You would trust the one who betrayed you. Sarah met Zixara's multifaceted gaze. Betrayal implies malicious intent. Zixara was acting to save the universe. I can respect that, even if I don't like the methods. The alien's eyes shimmered with emotion. I am honored, Commander. I will not fail you again. With a nod from Zinvex, the chamber began to transform. Organic technology pulsed and shifted, forming a cocoon-like structure around the Nexus key. Sarah took a deep breath, steeling herself for what was to come. Last chance to back out, she said with a wry smile. Zixara's 4 hands gently guided her towards the waiting cocoon. In all my cycles, I have never met a being as brave as you, Sarah Chen. Whatever happens, know that your actions this day will echo through eternity. As Sarah stepped into the cocoon, feeling the alien technology begin to interface with her very being, she allowed herself one last moment of doubt. Was she really saving the universe? Or was she about to unleash something far worse? The Nexus key pulsed, and reality itself seemed to hold its breath. In that frozen moment, on the precipice of cosmic transformation, Commander Sarah Chen made her choice, and the universe would never be the same again. The cocoon sealed around her, and Sarah felt the full weight of destiny settle upon her shoulders. As the power of the Nexus key began to flow through her, rewriting the very essence of her being, she uttered a silent prayer to whatever cosmic forces might be listening. Let this be the right choice, she whispered, as blinding light consumed her vision and the boundaries of reality began to blur. And in that moment of transcendence, as human and alien technology merged to reshape the cosmos. The true nature of the universe, and humanity's place within it, was about to be revealed in ways that would challenge everything Sarah thought she knew about existence itself. Quantum paradox. As the blinding light of the Nexus key engulfed Sarah Chen, reality itself seemed to fracture and reassemble around her. Her consciousness expanded beyond the confines of her physical form, stretching across vast cosmic distances. In an instant that felt like eternity, she became aware of the intricate tapestry of the universe. Every star, every planet, every quark and lepton interconnected in a dance of cosmic harmony. But amidst this overwhelming beauty, Sarah sensed the encroaching darkness of the void plague. It writhed at the edges of existence, threatening to unravel the very fabric of spacetime. With newfound clarity, she understood the true nature of the threat and the terrible price of stopping it. "Commander Chen," Zinvek's voice echoed across dimensions, "you must focus. Channel the key's energy to seal the quantum fissures." Sarah tried to comply, directing the overwhelming power surging through her. But something felt wrong. As she pushed against the cosmic wound, she felt resistance, not from the void plague, but from the universe itself. "Wait," she gasped, her words reverberating through subspace. "This isn't right. The universe, it's fighting back." Zixara's panicked voice cut through the psychic maelstrom. "Arch-Hierarch, something's wrong. The key's energy output is fluctuating wildly." Sarah's expanded consciousness reeled as she grasped the horrifying truth. The Nexus key wasn't healing the universe, it was forcing an unnatural change upon it. And in doing so, it was causing more damage than the void plague ever could. With monumental effort, Sarah wrenched her awareness back to the chamber. The cocoon around her cracked and shattered as she stumbled out, her body smoking from the raw energy still coursing through it. "Stop," she cried, her voice hoarse. "We have to shut it down." Zinvex's cybernetic eyes flashed with alarm. "Impossible. The process cannot be halted once begun. You must complete the rewriting, or all will be lost." But Sarah knew, with a certainty that transcended mere knowledge, that completing the process would doom the universe just as surely as the void plague. In that moment of crisis, she made a decision that would alter the course of cosmic history. "Zixara," she called out, "the crystal fragment, do you still have it?" The alien fumbled with its environmental suit, producing the small shard they had found in the jungle. "Here, but I don't understand." Sarah didn't wait for a response. She longed for the fragment, feeling the resonance between it and the pulsing energy still within her. As her fingers closed around the crystal, a plan crystallized in her mind. Desperate, dangerous, but the only hope they had. "Commander, what are you doing?" Zinvex demanded, his towering form advancing menacingly. Sarah met his gaze, defiance blazing in her eyes. "Saving the universe, the right way." With a surge of will, she channeled the Nexus key's power through the crystal fragment. Reality warped around them, the chamber dissolving into a swirling vortex of quantum possibilities. Sarah felt her body begin to break down at the molecular level, the price of wielding such immense power. "Zixara," she cried out, her voice distorting as spacetime fluctuated wildly. "I need your help. The key, it's not meant to rewrite reality. It's a tool for understanding it." The alien's multifaceted eyes widened in comprehension. Without hesitation, Zixara leaped forward, its 4 hands grasping Sarah's outstretched arm. Together, they focused on the crystal, their combined will shaping the chaotic energies swirling around them. Zinvex rolled in fury, his cybernetic implants sparking as he fought against the quantum maelstrom. "You fools, you'll doom us all." But Sarah and Zixara held firm. As their consciousness melded, boosted by the power of the key, they peered into the deepest mysteries of the cosmos. And there, in the quantum foam of creation itself, they found the truth. The void plague wasn't a disease or a cosmic cancer. It was a natural part of the universal cycle, the process by which old, dying universes were broken down to seed the birth of new ones. By trying to stop it, the Vex car had nearly destroyed the delicate balance that maintained existence itself. With this revelation came understanding. Sarah and Zixara worked in perfect harmony, using the Nexus key not to rewrite reality, but to align themselves with its natural flow. They became conduits for the universe's self-healing process, guiding the energies of creation and destruction into their proper channels. The chamber rematerialized around them, but changed. The oppressive Vexcar technology had been transformed, merging with the organic systems to create something entirely new. Zinvex lay unconscious, his cybernetic enhancements burnt out by the quantum surge. As the last of the key's energy faded, Sarah felt her expanded consciousness receding. She collapsed to her knees, exhausted beyond measure, but filled with a profound sense of accomplishment. Zixara steadied her with two of its arms, its eyes shimmering with awe. "Commander Sarah, what you've done, it's unprecedented. You've changed everything." Sarah managed a weak smile. "We did it together, Zixara, and I think we've only just begun to understand what's really out there." As if in response to her words, the transformed chamber hummed to life. Holographic displays flickered into existence, showing not just their galaxy, but countless others, an infinite multiverse of possibilities. By the first star, Zixara breathed. "It's beautiful." Sarah nodded, her scientific mind already racing with the implications. "And it's natural. The void plague, the cosmic cycle, it's all part of a greater process. We were never meant to control it, only to understand and work with it." A groan from across the room signaled Zinvex regaining consciousness. The Arch-Hierarch struggled to his feet, his once imposing form now diminished without his cybernetic enhancements. What have you done?" he demanded, his voice weak and confused. Sarah stood, drawing strength from the newfound cosmic awareness still lingering within her. "We've given you a choice, Zinvex. A chance to be part of something greater than conquest or control. The universe isn't a thing to be ruled, it's a miracle to be explored and understood." She gestured to the holographic displays, where countless worlds and civilizations flickered in and out of existence. "Look at all that's out there. Imagine what we could learn, what we could become, if we worked together instead of fighting against the natural order." Zinvex stared at the displays, his cybernetic eyes slowly regaining their glow as they adjusted to this new reality. For a long moment, he was silent. Then, to Sarah's surprise, he began to laugh, a deep, genuine sound of wonder and relief. "Cycles upon cycles of struggle," he said, shaking his head in amazement. "All because we could not see the greater pattern. Commander Chen, I believe I owe you an apology, and my gratitude." Sarah exchanged a look with Zixara, hope blossoming between them. "Does this mean?" Zinvex nodded sullenly. "The Vexcart Empire ends today. In its place, we shall build something new, a coalition of species dedicated to understanding and preserving the cosmic balance." As the weight of this declaration settled over them, Sarah felt a familiar tug at the edge of her consciousness. The Nexus key fragment in her hand pulsed once, then disintegrated into motes of light that swirled around her. "It's not over," she realized, a mix of excitement and trepidation filling her. This was just the beginning. There's so much more out there to discover. Zixara placed a comforting hand on her shoulder. "Whatever comes next, we'll face it together. As friends, as allies, as a new kind of family." Sarah smiled, her heart swelling with emotion. She had come to this alien world seeking scientific discovery, but she had found so much more. As the chamber hummed with the promise of new beginnings, Commander Sarah Chen knew that the greatest adventure of her life, of all their lives, was just beginning. The universe, in all its infinite wonder and complexity, awaited, and this time they will explore it not as conquerors, but as humble students of its grand design. As the first light of a new cosmic dawn broke over Ataraxis Prime, Sarah, Zixara, and even the humbled Zinvex stood united, ready to embark on a journey that would reshape the destiny of countless worlds and species across the multiverse. The Nexus key had unlocked more than just power. It had opened the door to a future where the boundaries between human and alien, between science and mystery, would blur and reform in ways none of them could have imagined. And in that moment of infinite possibility, the true adventure began. Cosmic Renaissance. The iridescent skies of Thraxis Prime shimmered with newfound energy as the first intergalactic summit convened in the transformed Nexus chamber. Representatives from 1,000 worlds gathered, their diverse forms a testament to the vast tapestry of life in the universe. At the center of it all stood Sarah Chen, Zixara, and the reformed Zinvex, architects of a new cosmic order. Sarah took a deep breath, marveling at how far they'd come in the months since that fateful day. The lingering connection to the Nexus key had changed her in ways she was still discovering, granting her insights into the fundamental nature of reality itself. Friends, allies, beings of all origins, she began, her voice carrying an otherworldly resonance that captivated the assembly. We stand at the dawn of a new era. An era of exploration, understanding, and harmony with the cosmic cycles that shape our existence. Murmurs of excitement rippled through the crowd. Holographic displays flickered to life, showcasing the wonders they had already uncovered. Microscopic universes nested within subatomic particles, sentient nebulae that sang across light years, and echoes of civilizations that had transcended physical form entirely. Zixara stepped forward, its multifaceted eyes reflecting the awe of the gathered beings. The Nexus key has shown us that the universe is far more intricate and alive than we ever imagined. But with this knowledge comes great responsibility. Zinvex, his once imposing form now adorned with symbols of peace and wisdom, nodded solemnly. We must learn from the mistakes of the past. No single species can claim dominion over the cosmos. We are all part of a greater whole, each playing a vital role in the grand symphony of existence. As the summit progressed, plans were laid for a new interstellar alliance. The Cosmic Concordat, they called it, a union dedicated to preserving the balance of the universe while pushing the boundaries of scientific and spiritual understanding. But even as hope blossomed, shadows lurked at the edges of their newfound enlightenment. Sarah felt it first, a dissonance in the cosmic harmony, a whisper of danger that sent chills down her spine. Something's coming, she murmured, her eyes distant as she peered into realms beyond normal perception. Zixara tensed, sensing Sarah's unease. What do you see, Commander? Before Sarah could respond, alarms blared throughout the chamber. Holographic screens flickered to life, showing a massive distortion in the fabric of spacetime, overwhelmed in reality itself, bleeding chaos into their universe. By the first star, Zinvex breathed, his cybernetic eyes whirring as they analyzed the phenomenon. It's a transdimensional rift. But how? Sarah's mind raced, connecting dots across vast cosmic distances. The Nexus key, she realized, her voice tight with urgency. When we used it to realign our universe, we must have attracted attention from outside. As if in response to her words, the rift pulsed, and through it emerged a sight that defied comprehension. Beings of pure energy, their forms constantly shifting and realigning, poured into their reality. In their wake came monstrous entities that seemed to be made of living darkness, their very presence causing nearby stars to flicker and die. The precursors, Zixara whispered in awe and terror. And the void hunters that pursue them. The legends were true. Panic threatened to overtake the assembly, but Sarah's voice cut through the chaos. Everyone, remain calm. We've prepared for this. Activate the cosmic barrier. At her command, the transformed Vexcar technology hummed to life. A shimmering field of energy enveloped Araxis Prime, temporarily shielding them from the cosmic invaders. But Sarah knew it was only a stopgap measure. The barrier won't hold for long, Zinvex warned, his fingers dancing across holographic controls. These entities, their power dwarfs anything we've encountered. Sarah nodded grimly. Then we need to take the fight to them. Not with weapons, but with understanding. The Nexus key showed us that everything in the universe is connected. These beings, no matter how alien, are part of that same cosmic tapestry. Zixara's eyes widened as it grasped Sarah's plan. You want to communicate with them. But how? Their very nature is beyond our comprehension. A smile tugged at Sarah's lips, determination blazing in her eyes. We'll use the one thing that transcends all barriers, pure mathematical truth, the language of the universe itself. As the cosmic barrier strained against the onslaught of interdimensional energies, Sarah, Zixara, and Zinvex worked feverishly. They repurposed the chamber's technology, turning it into a massive transmitter capable of broadcasting complex mathematical equations across multiple planes of existence. "It's ready," Sarah announced, her hand hovering over the activation switch. But there's a catch. To generate a signal strong enough to reach them, we'll need to channel the full power of the Nexus key through ourselves. The strain, it could destroy us. Zixara placed one of its hands on Sarah's shoulder, its touch conveying unwavering support. "Whatever the cost, we face it together." Zinvex nodded sullenly. "For the sake of all creation, we must try." With a deep breath, Sarah activated the transmitter. Raw cosmic energy surged through them, threatening to tear their very atoms apart. But they held firm, their minds melding into a singular consciousness that reached out across the interdimensional void. Through the agony of transcendence, they broadcast their message, not in words, but in the elegant beauty of pure mathematics. They showed the cosmic invaders the intricate dance of subatomic particles, the spiraling arms of galaxies, the fractal patterns that repeated from the quantum scale to the cosmic. And woven through it all, a simple truth: we are you, and you are us. All is one. For a moment that stretched into eternity, there was no response. The barrier flickered, on the verge of collapse. Sarah, Zixara, and Zinvex poured the last of their strength into the transmission, their bodies beginning to break down under the strain. And then, miracle of miracles, the onslaught ceased. The precursors and void hunters halted their advance, their unfathomable minds grappling with the message they had received. Slowly, incredibly, they began to change. The beings of pure energy coalesced into forms more comprehensible to mortal minds, while the dark entities shed their menacing aspects. A voice that was not a voice echoed through the minds of every being on Syraxis Prime. "We see, we understand, we are grateful." As the interdimensional rift began to close, the strange entities retreated, but not before leaving behind a gift. A pulse of energy washed over Sarah, Zixara, and Zinvex, restoring their broken bodies and imbuing them with a fraction of cosmic awareness. The chamber erupted in cheers and cries of joy as the danger passed. But for Sarah and her companions, this was more than just a victory. It was an affirmation of everything they had fought for, proof that understanding and empathy could overcome even the most alien of conflicts. As the celebrations began, Sarah gazed out at the assembled beings from across the cosmos. Humans stood alongside towering crystalline entities, while energy beings danced with sentient gas clouds. In that moment, she knew that the true golden age of the universe had only just begun. "So," Zixara said, its voice filled with wonder, "what's our next adventure?" Sarah laughed, her eyes twinkling with the light of distant stars. "My friend, we've got an entire multiverse to explore, and something tells me we're just getting started." As Syraxis Prime's triple moons rose over the horizon, bathing the world in ethereal light, the cosmic concordat raised their voices in a chorus that echoed across dimensions. It was a song of unity, of discovery, and of the boundless potential that lay in understanding the true nature of existence. And somewhere, in the vast cosmic tapestry, the universe itself seemed to smile.